They called her invisible, replaceable, just a clerk. But when the crisis hit and the nation froze, she was the only one with the clearance and the plan. My name is Ellie Morgan. I'm 27, and I grew up in Raleigh, North Carolina, where my family saw me as the quiet one. My cousin, Lauren, was a rising star at a D.C. law firm, the golden child at every family gathering. My parents, Diane and Tom, bragged about her real job while dismissing my government gig as a desk clerk at a federal agency. They didn't know my job at the Department of Homeland Security required top-secret clearance, 3 layers of background checks, and authorship of a classified crisis response protocol. When a national emergency struck, I walked into the Situation Room as the commanding officer, holding the keys they never knew I had. It started last summer at our family's 4th of July barbecue in Raleigh. The backyard was strung with lights, the table loaded with ribs, and Mom's potato salad, but the talk was all about Lauren's latest case win. I sat quietly, sipping iced tea, when Mom sighed. "Ellie, still pushing papers at that desk job?" Lauren smirked. "It's cute, but not exactly high stakes." Dad chuckled. "Lauren's out there saving clients. What do you do, Ellie?" Their words stung, but I stayed silent. To them, I was the shy cousin, too reserved to matter. The truth? I wasn't just a clerk. At DHS, I worked in the Office of Emergency Management, drafting protocols for national crises, cyber attacks, infrastructure failures, terror threats. My protocol, codenamed Sentinel, was a classified playbook for coordinating multi-agency responses during a digital blackout. It required clearance so high, even my supervisor barely accessed it. I'd spent 2 years refining it, working late nights in my DC apartment, analyzing data breaches and grid failures. My badge wasn't a clerk's, it was a shield, but I never bragged. I liked my low-key life, my quiet wins, until the family pushed too far. At Thanksgiving, Lauren's jabs got sharper. "Ellie, when are you getting a real job?" she asked, passing the turkey. Mom nodded. "You're too quiet for anything big." Dad added, "Stick to what you're good at. Filing." I smiled, hiding my anger, but their dismissal lit a fire. I'd saved my team from a server crash last year, earning a discreet commendation from the DHS director. They thought I was nothing, but I was the one with the keys to a national response. Everything changed in January 2025, when whispers of a cyber attack surfaced. I got a call from my supervisor, Agent Carla Reyes, saying a classified briefing was set for DC's Situation Room. "Ellie, Sentinel might be activated," she said. "Be ready." I checked my encrypted laptop. Sentinel was my work, a 200-page protocol for restoring order after a grid-down crisis. I'd never told my family about it. They'd never asked. But I knew Lauren would be at the briefing, representing her law firm for DHS's legal counsel. Perfect. She'd mocked me for years. Now she'd see me in charge. I started preparing, knowing a crisis could expose my role. I had evidence of my work, encrypted emails detailing Sentinel specs, time-stamped drafts on DHS servers, and a commendation letter from the director, praising my unseen leadership. My co-worker, Agent Sam Carter, had seen me build Sentinel. "You're the brains behind this, Ellie," he said over coffee in DC. "Why let your family think you're a nobody?" I sipped my latte, my eyes narrowing. "They'll find out when it matters." I needed to secure my place at the briefing. I emailed Carla, requesting a slot to present Sentinel if activated. "I'm the author," I wrote. "I should lead." She agreed, keeping my name off the public roster. Surprise was my edge. I also sent an encrypted file to the DHS Deputy Director, Ms. Yain Patel, summarizing my role in Sentinel. "I want credit where it's due," I wrote. She replied, "You'll have the floor, if it comes to that." Sam connected me with a Washington Post reporter, Lena Brooks, who covered national security. I sent her an anonymous tip. "A crisis briefing's coming. The lead isn't who you think." Lena replied, "I'll be there, sounds huge." I kept up the clerk act at work, filing reports, staying quiet. Lauren visited D.C. for a case, stopping by my office unannounced. "Ellie, still at that desk?" she asked, laughing. I nodded, smiling, while saving her text. "Don't embarrass us at the family reunion." She didn't know I'd be at the reunion, invited by Mom as an afterthought, where I'd drop hints about my boring job to keep them clueless. I practiced my Sentinel presentation, detailing its response matrix, FBI, NSA, FEMA coordination, in my apartment, keeping my voice calm but commanding. If the crisis hit, I'd be ready. The night before the family reunion, I stood in my apartment, staring at the Raleigh skyline from my flight's layover. My evidence was backed up on a USB and cloud server. I texted Sam. "Ready?" He replied, "You're about to own that room." My family thought I was a clerk. Soon they'd see I held the nation's keys. Hey, if you're hooked on this story, hit that subscribe button for Revenge Line. We bring you epic family drama and revenge tales every week. Comment below and tell us where you're watching from. Stay tuned because Ellie's about to step into the spotlight. The Situation Room briefing in Washington, D.C. was just days away, and I, Ellie Morgan, was in my modest D.C. apartment, sharpening my plan to reveal my role as the author of Sentinel, the classified crisis response protocol that could save the nation from a looming cyber attack. My family, parents Diane and Tom and cousin Lauren, had mocked me as just a clerk at the Department of Homeland Security, celebrating Lauren's real job at a law firm while dismissing my government gig. They didn't know my desk job required top-secret clearance and that I'd crafted Sentinel, a 200-page playbook for coordinating multi-agency responses during a digital blackout. When the crisis hit, I'd walk into the Situation Room not as a nobody, but as the commanding officer holding the keys they never bothered to ask about. I'd spent weeks building my evidence, knowing Lauren's legal connections and my family's dismissal could undermine me if I wasn't airtight. I had encrypted emails detailing Sentinel's specs, FBI, NSA, and FEMA coordination plans, timestamped on DHS servers from 2 years ago. A commendation letter from the DHS director praised my unseen leadership in averting a server crash. Server logs showed I'd authored every page of Sentinel, working nights while my family thought I was pushing papers. My coworker, Agent Sam Carter, had seen me build it. "Ellie, you're the backbone of this," he said over lunch in D.C. "Why let them call you invisible?" I gripped my fork, my voice low. "They'll see when the stakes are highest." To secure my place in the Situation Room, I needed allies. My supervisor, Agent Carla Reyes, had confirmed Sentinel might be activated. I emailed her, requesting to lead the briefing if it was. "I wrote it," I said. "I know it best." She agreed, keeping my name off the public roster for security and surprise. I sent an encrypted file to the DHS Deputy Director, Ms. Patel, with a summary of my role in Sentinel. "I want to ensure the right person leads," I wrote. She replied, "If Sentinel's needed, you'll have the floor." Sam connected me with Lena Brooks, a Washington Post reporter covering national security. I sent her another anonymous tip. "The crisis briefing has a hidden lead. Watch the Situation Room." Lena replied, "I'm in." This could be big. Back in Raleigh for the family reunion, I played the quiet clerk. The reunion was at my parents' house, a festive affair with banners and BBQ, but the focus was on Lauren's latest court win. Mom hugged her, gushing, "You're our star." Dad patted her back, saying, "Not like Ellie's desk job." Lauren smirked, handing me a plate to wash. "Still filing papers, Ellie?" I nodded, smiling while saving her text. "Don't embarrass us in D.C. They didn't know I'd be at the briefing, invited as a DHS operative, not Lauren's +1. I dropped vague hints, saying, "Work's been busy," but they laughed it off. "Busy filing?" Ethan, Lauren's brother, snorted. I let them underestimate me. My silence was my strength. I needed leverage against Lauren, who'd be at the briefing as legal counsel. Sam helped me pull DHS internal reports, showing Lauren's firm had mishandled a past contract, overbilling for consulting. If she tried to discredit me, I'd use it. I also found an email from Lauren to a DHS contact, joking, "My cousin Ellie's just a clerk. No need to loop her in." Her arrogance was my edge. I reached out to Agent Tara Lee, a FEMA liaison who'd tested Sentinel with me. "You're the real deal, Ellie," Tara said over a secure call. "I'll back you if it comes to that." She agreed to attend the briefing, ready to confirm my role. I spent nights refining my Sentinel presentation, knowing it had to be flawless. It opened with the protocol's impact, real-time coordination for cyber attacks, saving critical infrastructure. I included a timeline of my work, emails, logs, and a simulation of Sentinel averting a grid failure. One slide showed Lauren's email dismissing me, anonymized but clear. My speech was calm but commanding, designed to expose the truth without bitterness. I practiced in my apartment, pacing before a mirror, until every word was sharp. I also researched situation room protocols, learning only cleared personnel could lead briefings. My badge gave me that power. Lauren's didn't. The family wasn't oblivious. They sensed something. At the reunion, Mom pulled me aside. "Ellie, you're not planning anything big at work, are you?" she asked, her tone patronizing. I shrugged, wiping a counter. "Just doing my job, Mom." Lauren texted later, her tone sharp. "Stay in your lane in DC." I saved it, smiling. They thought I was replaceable. I'd show them I was indispensable. I needed media support to amplify the moment. Lena Brooks was covering the briefing, with access to the Situation Room's press pool. I sent her another tip. "The lead operative isn't on the roster. Watch for a surprise." She replied, "Cameras are ready." I wanted Lauren's shock broadcast, her star image fading. I also contacted DHS's oversight board, sending an anonymous note. "Sentinel's author deserves credit. Check the briefing lead." They replied, "We'll review all contributions." My evidence, emails, logs, commendations, would seal it. The day before my flight to DC, I got a call from Carla. "Ellie, the cyber attack's escalating. Sentinel's likely to be activated tomorrow." My heart raced. She confirmed I'd lead if it was. I packed my tailored Navy suit, professional and unyielding. My evidence was backed up on a USB and cloud server. I texted Sam, "It's go time." He replied, "You're about to run that room." I called Tara, confirming she'd be there. "They'll choke when you walk in," she said, laughing. I stood in my apartment, staring at the DC skyline from my window. My family thought I was a clerk. Tomorrow, they'd see I held the nation's keys. Hey, if you're loving this revenge story, smash that subscribe button for Revenge Line. We drop epic family drama and takedowns every week. Comment below and tell us where you're watching from. Stay tuned, because Ellie's about to take command. The Situation Room in Washington, D.C. was a fortress of tension, its walls lined with screens flashing alerts of a national cyber attack that had crippled power grids and communication networks. I, Ellie Morgan, stood at the entrance, my Navy suit crisp, my DHS badge gleaming, and my laptop loaded with Sentinel, the classified crisis response protocol I'd authored. My family, parents Diane and Tom and cousin Lauren, had dismissed me as just a clerk, mocking my government gig while praising Lauren's law firm career. They didn't know I held top-secret clearance and had crafted Sentinel to restore order in exactly this scenario. Today, I'd walk in as the commanding officer, and their frozen faces would see the nobody who held the nation's keys. My allies, Agent Sam Carter and Agent Tara Lee, were in the room, ready to back my role as Sentinel's creator. Lena Brooks, a Washington Post reporter, sat in the press pool, her camera crew poised to capture the briefing for a live feed. Lauren, representing her law firm as DHS legal counsel, sat at the conference table, unaware I was coming. My parents, watching the live stream from Raleigh, thought I was still filing papers. My folder held evidence, encrypted emails, server logs, and a DHS commendation letter proving I'd built Sentinel. I was ready to take command. The briefing began, led by DHS Deputy Director Ms. Patel. Screens showed chaos. Blackouts in major cities, banks offline, hospitals on backup power. We're activating Sentinel, Ms. Patel said, her voice grave. Lauren stood, her tone confident. My firm's prepared to advise on legal protocols. She glanced around, expecting to shine. Ms. Patel raised a hand. We need the protocol's author to lead. Lauren frowned, confused. I stepped forward, my badge visible, my voice steady. That's me, Ellie Morgan, DHS Emergency Management. I wrote Sentinel. The room went silent, heads turning, cameras zooming. Lauren's jaw dropped, her pen slipping. Miss Patel nodded. Proceed, Ms. Morgan. I connected my laptop, projecting Sentinel's framework, FBI, NSA, and FEMA coordination plans. This protocol restores critical systems in a digital blackout, I said. I designed it for this moment. I showed a timeline, emails from 2 years ago, server logs of my drafts, and a simulation of Sentinel rerouting power grids. The room leaned forward, generals and agents scribbling notes. Lauren's face reddened, her eyes darting to the exit. I detailed Sentinel's mechanics, real-time data rerouting, agency sync, and risk mitigation. A general asked, "How do we prioritize grid restoration?" I answered, pulling up my matrix. Hospitals and emergency services first, per my protocol. Sam stood confirming, Ellie built this from scratch. I tested it. Tara added, her work saved a server crash last year. Lauren tried to interrupt, her voice sharp. She's just a clerk, my cousin. I turned, calm but cutting. You called me replaceable, Lauren. Check my clearance. I flashed my badge, its top secret seal unmistakable. The room murmured, cameras catching Lauren's shock. Ms. Patel raised a hand. Miss Morgan's credentials are verified. She's in command. I showed an email from Lauren to a DHS contact. Ellie's just a clerk. No need to loop her in. The screen lit up, gasps rippling. I wasn't looped in, I said. I created the loop. Lena Brooks's camera zoomed in, the live stream beaming to Raleigh, where my parents watched, stunned. I played a clip from my commendation letter, the DHS director's voice clear. Ellie Morgan's unseen leadership is invaluable. Lauren sank into her seat, her lawyer's poise gone. A cyber attack update flashed. Hospitals were stabilizing, thanks to Sentinel's protocols. The FBI director nodded. Mrs. Morgan, your plan's working. Lead us through. I coordinated live, directing FEMA to prioritize grid zones, guiding the NSA on encryption cracks. The room followed my lead, not Lauren's. She tried one last jab. This is a team effort. Ms. Patel cut her off. Mrs. Morgan authored Sentinel. She commands. The press pool buzzed, Lena scribbling furiously. The oversight board, alerted by my note, stood. We confirm Ms. Morgan's leadership, her protocols saving us. The briefing ended with systems stabilizing, Sentinel proving its worth. Lauren was escorted out, her firm's contract under review for overbilling, thanks to my evidence. Ms. Patel pulled me aside. Ellie, you're promoted to Senior Crisis Coordinator. Name your team. I nodded, my heart pounding with victory. My parents called from Raleigh, their voices shaky. Ellie, we didn't know. I cut them off. You called me invisible. Now you see me. Lauren texted, pleading, let's talk. I replied, talk to my deputy. I'm busy running the nation. The Washington Post ran the headline, Desk Clerk Saves Nation in Crisis. I stayed at DHS, leading a new crisis team, my protocol adopted nationwide. The next family reunion was quiet. No more jabs, just awe. I stood outside the Situation Room, DC's skyline glowing. They thought I was a clerk. Now they knew I held the keys. Hey, if you loved this epic takedown, smash that subscribe button for Revenge Line. We drop the best family drama and revenge stories every week. Comment below and tell us where you're watching from. Thanks for joining us.